You're right, Gabriel said. Nah, dude, I don't really be doing that, man. I know you guys are thinking like, I love how like all these people like on the internet be like, oh, Blade just still like blacks out all the time and this and that. You know what I mean? But like, come on. Cause I'm lit, dude. Let's get another air bottle, bros. I love you guys.
I literally never thought I would be making another Only Use Me Blade video on this channel. In case you haven't been keeping up with him, he's kind of been radio silent for the past year or so, and the last time I covered him was because he came back and did a live stream of him getting absolutely plastered, and I'll link below that video. It kind of goes over up to that point the year prior, basically discussing his dependency on alcohol, his need to drink for viewers, his need to connect with somebody, and in order to connect with somebody, he's figured out that he can't just be doing nonsense streams because nobody wants to watch that. But he comes back recently because it's his 43rd birthday. That's right, everybody, our big boy. He's turning the big 4-3, and he thought he could hop on stream and just, I don't know, decide to play the latest Call of Duty, because that's what everybody's tuning in for the latest Only Use Me Blade. Now, to give him some credit, there were a lot of people that showed up for the initial stream. There were a decent amount of donations. People were intrigued as to what he was up to. They were asking questions about prior characters in the arc, like Willie and Orange and Beck and all these people. Now, in case you haven't watched a Blade video in a while, you might be curious as to why hasn't he streamed? What has he been doing? Because his entire persona, his entire life basically up to this point has been live streaming, and now he just hasn't been doing it. And it's because he's become the full-time caretaker of his elderly mother. And so he lives in the apartment that his mother lives in and takes care of her. Now, as you will see in this debauchery of a live stream, well, 2 live streams that he does, it's questionable as to whether or not he's actually fit to be able to do this job, because Lit Romney is going to show back up pretty soon, and some chaos is going to ensue.
Everything's good. I thank you for the dono. Everything's a-okay, gravy. Mom's good. I pretty much just been taking care of my mom, dude. That's pretty much about it. There's not really much interesting going on. It's a full-time gig, just taking care of her, doing those side hustles when I can, when I can find the time. Literally, dude, I wish I had something more interesting to tell you, but literally all I've been doing is, it's been pretty boring. I take care of my mom full-time.
So that's the entire premise of Blade at this point, because for a while he was, wavering back and forth about whether or not he wanted to go back home and take care of his mom. He had talked about how allegedly his mom had other caretakers, because obviously from like a medical standpoint, Blade is not an expert. He doesn't really know anything. Now, could he do basic things to take care of her like any other son probably could? Yeah, but I don't know if I would want a compulsive alcoholic whose entire existence up until this point had kind of been, back talking your mother, who would try and talk to you about how your drinking on streams were a problem, how she didn't trust your ex-girlfriend, how you were living this just insane lifestyle, but you're gonna trade that all away to come take care of your ailing mother, which seems like a noble idea at first. And for the most part, at least on camera, we don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't really know anything besides that. But on camera, he hasn't done great. But off scenes, who really knows what he's doing, right? Like, he had his little relapse stream or whatever you want to call it basically a year ago. And, now he's returning again for what purpose? It's his birthday. Does he, and like my assumption, and we'll get to this a little bit later, is I do think he's just all cooped up inside of this place. He has like weird friends that are all in their like 50s and 60s. I'm not entirely certain if this apartment complex is like a retirement complex where it's just like catered to older people. It doesn't really seem like he's interacting with people around his age anymore. He's starting to age out himself, to be completely honest, but he's just kind of cooped up here. He just wants to be able to talk to people, reconnect, try and dip his feet in, per se.
Oh, that's the other rumor, that I do Uber Eats. I can't do Uber Eats, dude. I literally got DUIs back in the day. So even I feel like if I were to do the kick thing, I would probably have to get a VPN and like learn how to do like the gambling streams. Like, isn't that the dream, dude? Is just to fucking play online slots and kick it with the peoples? I'm not gonna lie, I've had a couple slip ups, but on a day-to-day basis, I still consider myself like on the wagon, you know what I mean?
So the red flags start to build up a little bit here, right? Because people are trying to piece things together. Now, obviously, I mean, the story has been very murky since this entire caretaker saga has gone on. Because when he went out to have a drink with Chicken Andy when he was in Seattle a year ago or so, he talked about how the state wouldn't grant him, whatever the funding is in order to be a full-time caretaker at that point because of his prior criminal history. And now he's still talking about his prior criminal history. I'm sure his mom gets some sort of stipend from the government, but if Blade isn't getting money from that, he keeps talking about doing these side gigs, these side hustles that he's making money through, but he can't do something basic like Uber. So maybe he has like an actual part-time job. Maybe he's, packaging bags at the grocery store. Maybe he's carrying your cart out to your car in order to put your groceries away. I don't know. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe he's just too prideful in order to admit something like that. Other things, who really knows what it could possibly be. And so it's kind of foreshadowing for what people assume happens at the very end of the stream. Maybe his past delinquencies of choosing to overindulge himself and just hop right behind the wheel of the lack and go to town and just have a grand old time. Maybe that's going to catch back up to haunt him one of these days, and maybe that day is today.
Are we really doing this right now? How? I literally, the only thing I can do is turn my phone off at this point. How? Dude, am I going to have to turn my phone off? Like, okay, if you turn the Wi-Fi off and the cellular off, wouldn't that just mean nothing gets through? Yeah, but I'm not, see, the thing is, guys, I'm not even, like, trying to drink like that, because, like, I've done that, bro. Like, it's just a fucking monster headache the next day. You feel fucking bedridden, Like, you don't want to do shit.
So the cycle, once again, just slowly starts to get the gears turning. You start to see some of the memories of the olden days because, to be completely frank, I kind of forgot about Blade. I think most people kind of did. The antics that Blade used to get up to in the past were extremely entertaining, to say the least. But he seems at least somewhat determined to want to try and rebrand himself. He even talks about, and this is from a video game perspective, but he talks about wanting to move on from the Blade moniker, and I think it goes a little bit deeper than just how he plays Call of Duty. I think in particular, he kind of wants to be a more chill, laid-back type of guy, but the entire atmosphere that he surrounds himself with whenever he does a live stream is going to completely prevent that. And we've seen it for the past decade. Ever since he started to do drinking streams, that is his persona. That's what he loves to do. And obviously it brings the viewers, it brings the money, it has all these dopamine rushes that fill him up. Now obviously it's completely detrimental to basically everything in his life, but the alternative is what he tries to do here, where he's trying to play Black Ops 7. He can't even do it because he can't figure out how to install it on his computer, and it's crashing consistently, so he's just rambling, telling random stories the entire time, and it's just a complete mess. I mean, he tries to talk about different things, but can't keep his line of thought correctly. It's just all over the place. It's a very it's a very traditional kind of, when he first moved in with his mom again, he started doing streams like this for a little bit. It's kind of akin to what those were in the past, just like, what is he's not even talking about anything too interesting. He's trying to play a game that nobody's really interested in watching him do. And at the end of the day, he decides to go full mask off and do a follow-up stream the next day, because he ends up only streaming initially for like an hour, and that's because he took like an edible and it just completely zonked him out and he just had to end stream. So he follows it up the next day and says, you know what, I'm going back to the tried and true method. I'm going back to what everybody remembers me for.
This is for me for turning 43. 43, dude. To 43. No, I didn't need my mom's permission, dude. I'm literally 43. Okay? I'm 43 today.
The problem with this mindset is that it's not a mother-son dynamic anymore, right? It is an elderly patient and a caretaker, right? Like, yeah, you still have technically the mother-son dynamic, and unfortunately we're going to see the state that Mama Blade is in at this point, because based on her speech and how she was interacting basically only a year ago, she has, at least to me, seemed like she's deteriorated a lot. And I don't think that a full-time caretaker that has to do everything for her should be getting plastered on live stream. I know that's a crazy bold statement, can't be saying things like that, but maybe, and like, here's the thing. If you wanted to have a single shot with your friends, air quote friends, on your live stream, okay, I get it. But the state that he's going to fall down into, and trust me, it's not just one bottle of Jaeger that he's going to absolutely decimate in this time span, alright? It's just going to go downhill extremely fast, and the idea that, well, I'm a grown-ass man, I can drink if I want to, is just so asinine, it's not even worth my time explaining.
Okay, the New Year's stream did not make me quit drinking. It made me, I stopped streaming after, I went to Vegas with Bone Clink, because that was like my last little hurrah, because hey, Peppa Chick, what up? Because I needed to come back home. My mom needs me full-time, and so now I'm a full-time caregiver for her. Not nearly as much as it used to be. Like, there was actually a good almost a year sober, but then I did it for a stream, and then I decided tonight it was like a birthday thing. I want to do a birthday, but not. So we're here again, but on a day in, day out, dude, the drinks don't ever happen. So, all right, here's my thing on this. If I were to slip into a getting super duper lit all the time thing, I want to be able to stream that doesn't involve this, you know what I mean?
So it's just his ultimate vice, right? Like how I explained, it's not possible for him to move back into doing streaming without drinking. It's like this compulsive codependency that both of those items have on each other. Him and the bottle. He needs to have it. And everybody, obviously, throughout the initial live stream where he just sort of rambles and tries to play video games, most of the donations are just there saying, hey Blade, Liddy again, where are you gonna do a fire sale? Let's have some drinks, let's do it, let's go out. And the spiral is going to continue, because it's not just him sitting there saying, well, it's my birthday, let's just have a little drinky poo. One little drinky poo won't hurt anybody, it's nothing too bad, right? And then it's just going to slowly progress more and more and more. And at the same time, he keeps bringing up, well, I'm the caretaker for my mom, I have to watch out for her. So people are like, well, how's your mom doing? So we finally get our first glimpse at how Mama Blade is doing, and it's not great.
I just went down for a cig, but put on my chest, we're good. They can't see you. You want to say hi to them?
No.
Okay, well. So it's on my chest. I know you're very, very soft-spoken.
Okay.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Brian. Hi, guys.
They were really mad at you when you said you don't want to talk to them.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just don't talk very well.
You know how many people we have in here?
I mean...
4,000.
No. Really?
We do have 4,000.
How do you talk to 4,000 people at the same time? Don't show me.
Oop. See what it says, 4,000 right there?
You said you wouldn't show it.
I didn't mean to.
Then don't.
Okay, well.
And you can't even do the decent thing of not showing your mother, who very clearly doesn't want to be on live stream, and it's going to get so much worse than this later on. It's just a complete invasion of privacy, and it's especially somebody like this who, like, your mom can barely talk. She's currently in, like, a hospital-style bed where you have one of those pulley thingies in order to stabilize yourself and be able to pull yourself up because you don't have the physical strength to do it anymore. But your son's coming in and showing off his botted live stream viewers because, and while I didn't watch the stream right when it was going on, I had to watch a re-upload of it. I can't imagine that Blade was pulling 4K viewers necessarily. Now, maybe 1,000, maybe something like that, but the numbers seem a bit off, obviously. And, you know, he keeps going back and forth because I think he's trying to figure out exactly what he can do, because I feel like we're kind of experiencing, maybe not an everyday, but maybe an average type of drinky poo type of night for Blade, because he basically just keeps going back and forth with coming upstairs, checking on his mom, having a drink, going downstairs, having a cigarette, and then repeating the cycle over and over and over again.
Because I'm lit, dude. Dude, let me see what it looks like with no lights.
Hey Blade.
Hey.
Happy birthday. Shots, shots, shots. Fire sales. Let's get litty tonight.
Yeah, dude.
So at this point in the stream, we're basically like 30 minutes in or so, and he's already drank half a bottle of Jaeger. He is just going right through it. And the funny thing is, he's not even like doing obligations. Like in the past, it was kind of a meme, it was kind of a joke that he would do fire sales and it was what, $3 or whatever, and he would take a shot. I think he bumped it up from time to time, but basically everybody, you know, he could never keep up with that because the amount of donations he would get would just put him into the grave essentially. But at this point, he's just doing it for the love of the game. He's not even, he never promised to do fire sales at all. He's just, I'm just gonna start drinking an entire bottle, an entire handle, who cares? You know, he's gonna go back out and probably get another one a little bit later.
I've been talking to me, stressing me.
How are you gonna, wait. How are you gonna get to the store?
I'm gonna fucking talk to dude. Mom, I love you. Come on, I gotta go. Actually, you know what, Mom? That's a good thing. I'm not driving your car, don't worry about it, but that's my car at this point. I got you, Mom.
So we get a little bit more foreshadowing, right? Because he's over there, he's talking to one of his friends that I think used to live in the area and moved away. Who really cares who this person is? But essentially, he keeps talking about how he's going through his bottle and he has to go get another bottle, but he's clearly hammered. And he's talking to his mom how, well, it's not even your car anymore, Mom, because he was talking earlier in the stream that he has his Cadillac, but he doesn't drive his Cadillac anymore because his mom doesn't drive, so he just drives his mom car everywhere. And now he's saying, well, straight to her face, I'm Liddy again, I need to go out, I'm gonna take my mom's car. And she is literally just laying there. And like the amount of disrespect that this just brings, just to his mom, to himself, it's honestly just disgusting, to be quite frank. Like, and I was even willing to give some leeway to say, you can have a drinky poo, one little drinky poo to celebrate your birthday. I get it, no big deal. But if he's willing to show this, he's willing to live stream this, he's willing to go back down this path that he did in the past, you're thinking that he's not doing this behind the scenes? You don't think that he's having a little drinky poo every once in a while? And it goes a little bit further, because he goes downstairs and he's quite sloshed at this point, and there are all these like older gentlemen that I guess are his only friends that he hangs out with at this apartment complex that he lives at.
Bet my car gets fixed faster than yours, dude. Cadillac versus Lexus, person. Liddy again. Figure it out, dude. What's up, Pistachio? I gotta go. I gotta do some things. I got a bar near me, person. Now we're lit, person. I got 4,000 people watching.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Talk to them.
How do you get so many people to do that?
They love me,
They
Vince.
love you? Man, you the man. He's the man. All you ladies of the 80s and above, come on over here and get some of this man's love.
But at the same time, it's just like this point in particular. Now, obviously, everything that Blade's doing, I think, is irresponsible. It's not helping his mother. It's not helping himself. But just like, let's just take this particular moment in time and extrapolate a little bit. This existence for Blade must be very sad. Just very sad, very dreary. I mean, his activities are hanging out with like what, retirees as they play ping pong in the apartment lobby room, like the hangout space. These are his best friends. These are the people that he interacts with. Obviously, I'm not trying to just slam doink on old people. That's not my objective. I'm just saying that Blade transitioned from this lifestyle of going out and partying nonstop, and now he has to come to the reality that this is his new existence. Is this like more relaxed, laid back doldrums? And I think it just like spirals in his head. I don't think he's like comfortable with that reality. And so I feel like these little drinky poos that he decides to do, these are his outlet. And at the same time, the reality, the consequences of his actions come back to haunt him, because as I was saying, he goes through this cycle of, you know, having some drinks, going downstairs, coming back upstairs to check on his mom. Well, he comes back upstairs and his mom, who is frail and weak, had to stumble her way over in order to use the bathroom by herself, and her drunk son comes inside saying, "I'm here to help you, Mom, don't worry, I'm gonna help you out."
I'm sorry. Sorry, Mom. What's going on? Sorry. I didn't know you guys up there. Hello? No, that's part of my thing. No. Can I help you? No. I can't help you.
So Beck ends up calling him while he's sitting there because the camera is pointing into the bathroom. Now, we luckily at this moment cannot see his mother, and I'm not going to show his mother because this is so downright disrespectful. It is just so like, I can't even put to words like how I feel necessarily about this. And it's just because your whole sole objective is to take care of your mother. And what is happening on this live stream is not that. If anything, it's neglect. Alright? That is what I think is actually happening. And I've said it since the very beginning that I don't think Blade is equipped to take care of his mother. Alright? And clearly, moments like this, whether or not he has the physical capabilities to do things, his judgment is awful. Because he leaves the live stream on, and his mom ends up getting up from the toilet, and you can see that she's not wearing any pants or any underwear or anything from the bottom half, and I'm clearly not going to show that on here, but just the asinine behavior, because he even gets the call from Beck, and Beck says, "Hey, your camera is pointing into the bathroom, go turn it or turn it off or something," and he says, "No, this is my content." It's just like, come on, man, like, no amount of like effort and time is ever gonna like rectify his horrible image. Like, this was a potential turnaround moment, and that's what I thought was gonna happen years ago. After the whole New Year's blowout event with the cops that happened, I thought that, you know what, seems like Blade's gonna move back there, he's gonna turn his life around, he's gonna fix his relationship with his mom, and maybe he pretends like that is what's actually happening, but clearly that's not what is actually happening, because his mom gets up, sits down in the chair, and he tries to redirect her chair, because I'm assuming that there's a little handle nozzle thing, you know, on the side that you push and pull in order to turn the chair around. Well, he tries to do that and he just smashes her right into the door.
Not your camera. But I'll bring it to you. Don't worry about it. There's just weird people on the internet like trying to hit me up. All right. You know I'll pick you up, right? I got you, Mom. I got you, Mom. I love you. 1, 2, 3. What's the deals, Mom? Where's my stream at? It's getting up in the air, Bob person. I love you guys. Caretaker of the year? Ew.
Because ultimately I think that this is the perfect embodiment of where Blade's true loyalty lies. He picks up his mom to put her back into her bed, and his first thought is, where's my stream? Little whoopsie doodle, Mom. Let me go find my stream. Let me go have another drink. Let's go back to my room and have a drink. Because his job has been solved at this point. He's done everything he could possibly need to do. Don't worry about it at this point. He came back in, ran her into a wall. She's all pissed off, clearly. Wouldn't you be upset if this is your caretaker? Maybe she has a justifiable reason to not have liked the previous caretakers. Maybe they're similar to Blade. Maybe Blade is one of the best caretakers she's had, and it says a lot about the other people that have looked out for her. But it's just like, I don't know. I just have like so much like disgust. I guess that's the best way to describe it. Like, seeing something like this, I couldn't imagine happening to my own mom. And Blade is just so, he doesn't care. You know, he'll masquerade like he's doing such a great job, and you just literally embarrass yourself and your mother to the entire internet and act like you're having a grand old time. And guess what? He's gonna close out in the only way that Blade knows how. He's gonna leave.
Whoops, it was. Squirrels are calling me, Mom. How do I do this? Play, Mom.
Brother, Mum, can I get a free Richard Newkirk? It's my dad who got arrested falsely.
So the stream just basically abruptly ends at this point, and the conspiracies that are circling around and just sort of like context clues that are going on, Blade has been talking about for basically the past hour that he needs to get another bottle, and that, you know, he teased the idea of taking Mama's car to go somewhere, and he just abruptly ends the stream out of the blue, not saying bye, not doing anything. It just ends, kind of odd, and he's walking out the door, and it sounds like the jingle of car keys or some type of keys that he has in his hand, making a lot of people question that he turned off his live stream so he could go get in his car and drive to the store and get another bottle and come back and have a little bit more, have some more drinky poos. And wouldn't surprise me, we've seen him do it on live stream in the past. He talked earlier about how he was getting DUIs and that's why he can't be doing Uber Eats anymore. And now he's not even locking his mom's door. He's just saying, bye Mom, I have to go out, see you later. I know you just had a struggle of having to go to the bathroom, but I'm gonna go take care of my needs. I'm gonna go do what I want to do. See you later. It's just, dude, I don't know. Maybe you guys out there are gonna say, you're being too harsh. This might just be a one-off event. You don't know. It's just, it had to end, right? Like the whole drinking saga, that whole persona, it had to disappear. Like not ever again in order to be the caretaker. That's my 2 cents. That's how I feel about it. And clearly it obviously is not happening, or at least on rare occasions, air quote, he is slipping back into the mud. But I don't know, guys. I never thought that we would be hearing from Blade again, yet here he is in the worst way imaginable. In the worst way imaginable. It's just, I don't even know what to say. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed. Till next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.